Shri, and I'm working as a developer in the RightMesh team.
My name is Rachel. I'm a senior software developer manager here at RightMesh.
Carol Longden, and role is Operations Director of RightMesh.
So before left or RightMesh, I used to work at Hootsuite, and I was a software developer manager there.
Originally from the UK, have been in Canada for 15 years and have worked in technology for all those years here in Canada, and more recently, previously to joining RightMesh, I was at Central One Credit Union.
I'm from the Philippines originally. I grew up in the Philippines, graduated high school in the Philippines, moved here to go to college, and have been here since then.
I'm from India, from a tropical city called Chennai. So I was working as a developer for a while, like after finishing my bachelor's, and then after a while, like life, like even though my job was interesting, I was sensing it was becoming more monotonous, and I was always fascinated about like doing research. So, and I'm also like fascinated, like, you know, I always want to explore a different country. So I started applying for universities around the world, and like Vancouver is like the best place to be. So yeah, I joined my master's in SFU, and yeah, I completed that, and then I was looking for jobs in startups, and yeah, I ended up in RightMesh.
No.
Actually, no.
Absolutely not, no.
Originally, I wanted to go into chemistry. I think I was really inspired by all of those CSI shows, and I really wanted to go into forensic chemistry. But I realized that, you know, working in a lab wasn't really something I wanted to do 8 hours a day. So then I tried a computer programming course, and I found that I actually really enjoyed it. So yeah, and then that's how I started my career in tech.
Like there is a misconception that, like, you know, like if you need to have like the passion right from your young age to like be in tech, but that's actually not the case for me. Like I always want to go for you know, I always want to pursue a career in like architecture, but somehow I couldn't like get into like a B.Arch degree. And then I was thinking about like what I should like, you know, like moving forward, what I should be picking. And like both my dad and brother, like they encouraged me, like, why don't you like try computer science? So when I joined computer science, I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know how to print a line, like I was that basic, but yeah, like here I am, so it's not at all difficult. All you need to do is like give some time and put some effort.
Technology really wasn't even an option when I graduated from university. Things were still back in the days of MS-DOS, and that was not a great program to work with, and programming was not really my cup of tea. So no, I really did not want to work in technology when I graduated.
Like my typical day would be like when I come to the office, like my morning starts with like code review, like where like we review each other's code and like give some constructive feedback. And not only that, like we also learn a lot like by looking at other people's code. So that's really good. And after that, we have our daily scrum, like where we discuss about like if you have any roadblocks, what's our plan for today, etc. And then like we start with our own task, like doing it.
It's different every day, especially with the whole token generation event that we're working on. I'm working with members of the team here, external members, the partner in Switzerland, so every day is different. But my main focus is to make sure that all of our action items are done on a day-to-day basis, that issues aren't falling through the cracks, and we're addressing any problems as they come up. So every day is different.
A lot of my day-to-day right now, it's a lot of researching into how smart contracts work, a lot of meetings on how the whole TGE process is going to go. I work on the dev portal side of things, so right now, or it's also a lot of looking into security vulnerabilities on the dev portal.
It's the people here, the fun that we have on a day-to-day basis. It's beer o'clock on a Friday where we get to share the wins and have a beer, and we're not particularly politically correct, so we can let loose a little bit and be ourselves quite easily.
I have like a lot of opportunities to learn. So I have also worked in a big corporate company like before joining RightMesh. So if you join a team as like a junior developer or a person with like 2-year experience or something, you mostly don't like get all the major responsibility. You typically start with like tasks with like no one else want to do. So but in a startup it's not the case. Like it's always like you have more to do, you have more to contribute, and like you could directly see the work you do adds value to the product and add value to the company. So that's something exciting, and yeah, I think that's what motivates me.
Our lack of bureaucracy is a breath of fresh air because everybody just gets in and does. And one of our core values being failure is an option means that you're not scared of making mistakes as long as you learn from them and move on. And this is so unlike some of the typical bureaucracies that I've worked for. It's just great to come into work every day because it is so different and we have such a good atmosphere.
I love all the learning that I'm doing right now, especially all the smart contract stuff on the blockchain. It's so fascinating, and it's just very new to me, and just learning all this has been super fun. I think it helps to provide a different perspective on things. I tend to look at things differently than how other people solve problems. But to be honest, like, I'm not sure if that's because I'm a woman or I'm just like, I just think differently.
Encouraging others to come into technology. As I say, when I was graduating, technology wasn't really that big of an option, but today it is. And it doesn't matter where you work with technology. Everybody has a computer on their desk these days, and it's great to be able to encourage other women to come into this space, especially the space that we're working in with blockchain. It's so new, there's so much to learn, and women can be a big part of this. There's no reason why they can't be.
I think the best part is like the amount of encouragement you get from your colleague. Like, it's not only from women, like both women and men, like they encourage you to like grow in your career and to reach new heights. Like, for example, like there are like a lot of hackathons, workshops and meetups that are conducted exclusively for like women in tech, like which expose you to like newer domains, and like where you get to meet people who could actually like who are like like who have done something, who have achieved something, and it kind of inspires you more to like excel.
That's a really good question. I think it is becoming a lot more so. I mean, look at the demographics of Left as a company. We were over 50% women until one other guy joined, but I think this whole mind shift with newer companies are making it a lot more inclusive and encouraging a lot more women to come into places of work. So I think it is actually moving that way. With the traditional bureaucracies, that whole mindset hopefully is dying away with them as well. So I think this is the new workplace.
I think like nowadays a lot of companies like they're making sure there is like an equal pay between like men and women, like who are doing the same job role, and also like they're making sure they're hiring more. Say if I'm into development, like companies are like taking steps to like hire more women developers. But what I don't see is like there's not a lot of people in the executive teams. Like for example, in left we could actually see like there's like a lot of girls in like the executive team and top, like in top level. But like if I like when I go through like other websites of different companies, it's mostly like dominated by men, like who are there in like taking decisions. So I think that there should be more encouragement on that, and it's not about like like giving reservations for women to be in like executive team, but it's more like facilitating opportunities for them to grow to be in that position. Like I think there should be more work done on that.
Just being supportive, I think, really goes a long way. Everyone's learning, new technologies or new frameworks, and the tech scene is always evolving. So I think just having that environment of supportiveness would definitely help.
Don't freak out like by saying like, oh, I don't understand math or I don't understand computer science. And the second thing I would say is like it's never too late to do something. Like for example, in some of the meetups I have gone to, I have met like women in their 40s and 50s who started learning programming just for like trying it out.
You just go for it. Yeah.
The best advice I can say is to do your reading and to network as much as you can. It's so important. If a company is a right fit for you, it doesn't necessarily mean that there even needs to be a vacancy at that particular company. If you find the right fit and you're interested in what they do, you can actually learn, and a company can actually make a role for you. So it's not necessarily about a company having a vacancy, it's about having a fit at a company.
It helps to have that curiosity and use that curiosity to help drive your career in tech. I know a lot of people who don't even have degrees in computer science, but are really great programmers.
Programming or like understanding tech is like any other skill. You get better with practice, just like how you become a better painter by practicing.
So I really identify with the thinking differently core value, because I like to think outside of the box.
I identify the thing like doing small things right. Like I have always worked like that. Like when you have like a big goal right in front of you, like and you have like a timeline to it, like you generally freak out and get more nervous about it. But when you split up the big goal into like small goals and like keep working towards it and make sure that you do it right, I think eventually like you would be successful in what you're doing.
Family is important. That's the one that really resonates with me. Firstly, because being a parent of two youngish kids, family is important, meaning that I can leave work, I can go to shows at the school, I can go volunteer on hot lunch days, and that's really important to me to have that sort of work-life balance. And also I've spoken before about the whole sort of atmosphere at Left, and we are a big family. Everybody cares about everybody else, and I don't think I've ever felt that strongly, felt that sort of emotional connection as strongly anywhere else as I have here. When we go for nights out, then the Left family is all involved. Somebody has a birthday and their Left family comes along as well. Family is important. It's such a core value here and for me too.